Doubledays back at home after a week on the road tonight. Auburn takes on Connecticut in Game 1 of a three-game set against the Tigers. Getting ready for the action on our Cayuga Community College pregame show. I'm Drew Carter alongside Chris Trill as we open up our show, presented as always by Auburn Citizen. Chris, same guys, same analysis, but one thing is different.
Yeah, we got some new haircuts. If you personally have not seen the difference, I personally feel like a brand new man, but look pretty fresh tonight. A little bit more than Drew, but we're both fire for today's game.
Yeah, you look like a five-star man for sure. If you want to vote on whose haircut looks better, go to our Twitter at Doubledays and tell us who you think has the better haircut, either Chris or Drew. I'm not going to be offended if you vote for Chris because, again, that hair is straight up fuego. But that does it for our show opening presented by the Citizen. As we move on now back to the baseball, Doubledays with 6 games on the road turned into 5 games after one of them was rained out at State College. Taking a look at our road trip report presented as always by Onondaga Coach. Doubledays win 1 game against the Spikes and then 1 game against the Valley Cats in Tri-City.
Yeah, Drew, that other game against the Valley Cats doubleheader. Yeah, it was really good opening up that series. Some nice one-run wins just overall on the road trip, and really highlighted our pitching during the road trip. Yeah.
You mentioned those one-run wins. That's a bright spot for the Doubledays after last year they really struggled in that setting. This year, above 500 in those one-run games. That's certainly a good sign for Auburn. It's got them pretty high in the standings right now. Doubledays at 19 and 18. As we take a look at our standings presented by Wegmans, Auburn is, yes, 5 games back in Mahoning Valley, but only a game and a half out in the wild card standings.
Yeah, Drew. Fortunately, not where we want in the division, but wild card you take it every time. So just keep on chugging, and tonight's going to be a huge game for just to maintain that pace, maybe move up a game.
Now, one guy who's been pitching pretty well for the Doubledays as of late is Aaron Barrett. He's our Humphrey Catering Player Spotlight. We spoke with him a few minutes ago.
To not know a lot of things. Jose De Los Santos is another kid who's got a great potential.
Doubledays getting set to take on the Tigers here at Game 1 at Falcon Park, back on our Cayuga Community College pregame show. I'm Drew Carter along with Aaron Barrett, a guy who's pretty famous in this era. You've been a former big leaguer back with the Doubledays for the first time since 2011. How's it been so far, man?
It's been fun. I mean, we're trying to have a good time, trying to win some ball games. Got a good group of guys. It's been fun.
So you pitched quite a few times for the Doubledays. How do you feel like it's going for you out on the mound?
So far, I think my last few outings have started to be a lot better. I feel more consistent, kind of getting back in the sync of things, just kind of trying to remember how I used to pitch, so to speak. So it's been good, just trying to keep it rolling.
So can you give us an idea a little bit of your initial injury and then your recovery? Because it had been a while before you pitched for the first time, so can you kind of just walk us through that journey a little bit?
Yeah, it's definitely been a long road. I had Tommy John at the end of 2015, and then as I was rehabbing back about a week before I went on my rehab assignment, ended up breaking my humerus, snapped it in half, and it was a pretty gruesome event, but they put 2 plates and 16 screws in my arm, and it took about a whole year for the bone to heal because it's such a significant bone. It's just been a long road of recovery, and finally was able to. A lot of people didn't think I would ever throw again, but after a long road, started playing catch again last year, and was able to get off the mound for the first time this spring training, and now I'm here pitching in games. Just super grateful and blessed for the opportunity.
I know you're a big family guy. Your wife Kendall, you actually just had your first kid this past year, right? How important was your family to you during that whole process?
Oh, super important. I mean, obviously, having them by my side and being able to watch the birth of my first child, was such a blessing. You take for granted a lot of things, including this game, and being able to have a new perspective on life and baseball, can really bring a lot of things to light. Just super fortunate to have them by my side, and the rest of my family just been tremendous support through this whole journey.
With Doubledays reliever Aaron Barrett. Now, when you guys are playing cards on the bus, not a whole lot gets in between your card games. But I've noticed that one thing that does is whenever your family calls. How cool is that when you're like, I mean, a little peek behind the curtain here when you can do like baby talk with your kid, and then your wife is. How cool is that for you when they just ring you up?
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously one of the hard parts of being a baseball player is being away from family, and obviously since I'm the older guy on the team, I'm one of the few that's married and has a kid, and obviously. Anytime I get a FaceTime call, I'm always going to answer. But right now she's almost 10 months. She's walking almost and crawling, and And so those are just moments that I'm not going to miss. So it's a lot of fun.
I know your family was out here for a little bit. What'd you guys do to have some fun in Auburn?
We went on a wine tour. Went to Toro Run one time. We went to Emerson Park for a day. Kind of relaxed, had a good time. She came to a couple games, just tried to enjoy everything that City of Auburn offers, and I think we went over the Scanty Atlas for a couple nights, had dinner over there, just took in the sights.
Talking here with Doubledays reliever Aaron Barrett now. As someone who's kind of been through the entire grind before, as someone who's climbed the ladder to the big leagues, you've sort of established yourself as a bit of a team leader here. I think that'd be fair to say. So what have you been telling the guys? Have you kind of taken anyone under your wing? How's that been for you?
It's been fun. I mean, while I was going through the minor leagues, I definitely had a few guys, veteran leaders that kind of helped me out, and I just try to pay it forward, try to remember what it's like, being a new draft guy, being new to this whole professional baseball thing, and trying to help out. This is a learning league. You're not only learning the game of baseball as a professional, but you're also learning how to be a professional, on and off the field. So there's a lot of things. It's a learning curve, and so if I can help kind of bridge that gap, as a veteran guy that's kind of been around, I'm going to do that. There's definitely a lot of guys in the pen that I try to mentor, so to speak. Try to get inside their heads. They ask me questions. Dave Smith has definitely been a guy that's had a struggling year last year and is having a great year so far this year. And I kind of try to remind him that I kind of went through some of the similar struggles. Coming back for the second year. Some of the Latin guys it's hard being in the United States and not know a lot of things. Jose De Los Santos is another kid who's got a great potential, great arm. Just try to take him under my wing.
I remember you told David Smith that you were in your second year in short season, and at that point you kind of had some doubts, right, about whether you'd ever make it. What's your relationship been like with him personally? Because I know you guys are teammates, not just on the field, but also on the bus and the car game.
Yeah, he's a guy. He's a California kid. So I try not to give him too much crap. But no, he's a good kid. We're pluck partners, which is a card game we play. So we obviously have a little thing going there. But like I said, I tell the guys all the time, including him, as long as you have a jersey on your back, you have an opportunity. And I struggled, I struggled a lot my first year, and even a little bit my second year. And I said, you're not that far away. You can turn it around in a matter of seconds. And you can look at my numbers and my career. I was in this league for 2 years, and 2 years later I was in the big league. So I tell guys that all the time. Like, it can happen so fast, but ultimately you're in control of your own destiny, and it is what you make it.
Sitting down with Doubledays reliever Aaron Barrett. Now, another guy you're pretty close with is the manager, Jared Head. You guys played together during his playing career. What's your relationship been like with him so far this year? Because I know he said he sort of leaned on you for that leadership role as well. So how's it been with Jared so far?
Oh, it's been great. I mean, he always gives me a hard time, says that he can always hit off me, but, that's not giving him any credit. We all know that's not true. No, in all seriousness, no. Jared was one of those veteran guys that actually, when I was in Double-A, that was my first year in Double-A, and he's a guy that had big league time, and he was a veteran guy that, same thing, kind of showed the professionalism. Kind of little things that you need to learn before you make it to the big leagues. And I was very fortunate enough to have that. And obviously he's a family guy, has 2 kids, and so we obviously understand that. But it's neat being able to play for him, and obviously Franklin Bravo is my pitching coach. I had him for 3 years in the minor leagues, and I told him I was going to ride him up to the big leagues, and then obviously made it to Double-A, and he wasn't my pitching coach then. But it's just fun to have those guys around.
You might not be able to tell us because you might not know, but do you know what the plan is for you as you work your way back up to the big?
I don't know exactly the plan, and I try not to know the plan because I think the more kind of game-like realistic situation I can be in, the better for me. Not knowing when I'm going to pitch, or I know there is some sort of schedule, but it's kind of above my pay grade. I think I might have a couple more outings, maybe one more. Who knows? Honestly, I just try to go out there and when they tell me to pitch, I'm going to pitch. The main thing for me is being healthy this year and recovering and pitching on the days I'm supposed to pitch. And so I'm just going to take it one day at a time.
All right, awesome. Doubledays reliever Aaron Barrett. Before we let you go here, I remember earlier this year you were telling the guys about how you can do a pretty good Australian accent. So I want to put you on the spot. Can you give us a little bit of your Australian accent?
Oh yeah, the ladies love it. Get lucky or not.
That's fantastic. I'm sure your wife loves that.
Oh yeah, she loves it, mate.
All right, Aaron Barrett, thanks so much, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man.
The Holiday Inn in Auburn, New York is the perfect place to rest your head during an adventure in the Finger Lakes. With over 180 rooms that are freshly renovated, you can't beat the atmosphere of the Holiday Inn. The Holiday Inn will also keep you cool in the hot summer months with their indoor pool area. When you're done in the pool, their new restaurant, Burger Theory, will help you wet your whistle with amazing brews from all over the country and the local market, and offer some great fresh food options for you to enjoy. Book your stay today. Call us at 315-253-4531 and make your visit a memorable one by staying at the Holiday Inn. On our Cayuga Community College pregame show, getting you set for the Doubledays and Tigers at Falcon Park here at 6:30 tonight. Game 1 of a 3-game set. I'm Drew Carter, back alongside Chris Trill. Our thanks to Aaron Barrett, as always, for joining us. He was our Humphrey Catering Player Spotlight. Moving on to a couple of guys who spent some time in Auburn, specifically one guy, Juan Soto, with our Auburn Alumni Report, brought to you, as always, by Kalela's Embroidery. Juan Soto for the Nationals right now, scorching hot.
You really can't cool this guy down, or maybe early Rookie of the Year candidate. Yeah, but 2 straight games of the home run, essentially walked twice in a game for the first time since 1975 as a teenager since 1975. Just can't cool that guy down, Drew.
The Nationals might be hitting a turning point in their season right now. They're winners of 2 in a row. They blow out Milwaukee in the series finale against the Brewers. And then against Miami last night, they go down 3-0, come back and score the next 10 runs, and they win by 7. That could be a turning point this season.
Yeah, seriously, it's a recurring theme in baseball. Just look at the A's down from so far. So Nationals could very well just do it too.
Take a look now at what's going on in the minor league system for the Nationals with our On the Farm report, presented as always by Maine and Pinckney. In Hagerstown, just one level above Auburn, a couple of guys who spent some time with the Doubledays last year and this year, really hitting the baseball well.
Yeah, Hagerstown swept the doubleheader, and 2 really big contributors to that was Omar Hildo and Gage Canning. Both had home runs. Canning was here a little bit earlier in the season, and he lit it up. Was only here for a few minutes because then just got that promotion up. So we're not really surprised he's tearing it up over there because pretty familiar with him over here in Auburn.
Canning seeming to be on a meteoric rise through the system. Basically spent, like you said, about 5 minutes here with the Doubledays before moving up to the Hagerstown Suns. Now we take a look at our Auburn Community Minute, presented as always by Auburn Community Hospital. Doubledays earlier today, they sent Abner out to Booker T. Washington Community Center for a little kickball. Let's take a look at how that went down. Cayuga Community College pregame show. I'm Drew Carter. Glad to be joined now by Mike McKay from Access to Home Care, a local company here in Auburn. Mike, how you doing today?
Good, thank you. How about yourself?
Fantastic. So tell me a little bit about what you guys do with Access to Home Care.
Well, we're a family-owned and operated licensed home care agency here in Auburn, New York, located on 69 South Street. We provide a variety of different cares for individuals from the elderly to the traumatic brain injury, as well as the disabled. We're able to get them home care into their homes. If there is a possibility of them needing to go into a nursing home, we're able to divert them from going, and then if they're in the nursing home already, we're able to go in and be able to transition them out if they have if they have the need for the services. And that's what we try to specialize in, is getting individuals back into their home, into a place that they trust and that they feel comfortable at, and allow them to be back with their family again.
You were telling me a little bit before we got on here that a little bit about your goal with every individual person that you maybe take out of a nursing home. So what is your goal with this company?
Basically, what we try to do is make sure that individuals that are in the nursing homes, we want to allow them to be able to age in place, which is, in the best place for them to do that will be in their own home. I would confidently say about 100% of the people that we've dealt with that have been in nursing homes or heading to there have wanted to stay home. So, and that's not always possible. I mean, there are things that come into play that make it very difficult. If there's not a lot of supports involved in their lives, family members play a big part in what we do. Being able to support them in the homes once we get them home, as well as other family and friends that are involved. But the goal that we have is to try to get as many people home as possible, allow them to age in place with the things that they want to do in their home and receive that care in their home.
Talking with Mike McKay here from Access to Home Care. So how long have you guys been at it?
Well, we just came on our 6th year, which is very exciting, and we've been chugging along, and we want to keep going forever. It's been growing very, very quickly. And we've met a lot of good people on the way, and we've pulled out a lot of people out of these nursing homes, and we've diverted a lot of individuals from going into the nursing home, and it's just really been very successful. And there are times where it's tough. You have to dig down deep and figure out, okay, how are we going to make this work? And you have to look at all avenues, but majority of the time we make it work, so we're happy with that.
So what inspired you to get into this business and start your own company?
Well, I worked in the healthcare field for many years, about 14 years before I got into working with the adults. I worked with adolescents with mental health issues, and from there joined an agency and started working with adults for about 3 years, and then decided to go out on my own and start my own business. And just the rewarding fulfillment that you get from seeing an individual when you're able to keep them in their own home or even get them out of the nursing home. I mean, it's tough. Not too many people want to be there, and it's a very fulfilling and enjoyable feeling to be able to look at their face and see how their demeanor and things change when they get home. It's just it's a self-reward that kind of gives back to you without really needing to look for it.
Yeah. What are some specific moments or memories that really stand out to you when you look back on these now 6 years of doing this? Anything really stand out?
Yeah, there's several. There's so many, but I think one of the biggest ones is we had an individual that was in a nursing home, and it was a difficult case. We had to jump through a lot of loopholes to be able to get this young lady home. But in the long run, once we were able to kind of get through those little challenging times, this individual wasn't really too verbal in the nursing home and tended to look very depressed and didn't talk a whole lot. And you wouldn't believe, once we got her home, how quickly her demeanor changed and how she just stepped right out and was verbalizing with people and talking with people, and just you could see the excitement of, I'm finally home, I'm here where I want to be. Yeah.
Talking with Mike McKay from Access to Home Care. Now, you guys are going to be here for a beautiful day for baseball. A little bit hot, but still a gorgeous day for baseball. Yeah. Can you tell us about what you guys are going to be doing tonight?
Yes, we're excited about it. We have several office staff coming down. I have one of our participants that's true and dear to our heart coming in to be able to throw out the first pitch tonight. So he's very excited. His name is Tim, and he's been preparing for it, actually, from what I've been hearing around his house. But he's going to come out tonight, and if he'd like, maybe say a few words, and I'll say a few words as well as we're out there. But we're really excited about a good night of baseball. It's going to be a beautiful night, and we're excited about it.
Tim's going to give us a 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
I'm hoping he has that sinker that he's been working on around the house. Get it to work for him tonight a little bit.
All right, Mike, we'll get you out of here on this. Now, you are a native of Auburn. I remember you were saying how you used to come here when you were younger. Now you've got a sign out there on the outfield wall. How cool is that for you personally to be able to see something that was such a big part of your childhood now with your own business, your name up there?
Yeah, it's an amazing thing. Never fathomed it at all. You know, never thought that this would be a part of my life and that we would be sitting here and advertising through Auburn Doubledays. Because yes, I remember as a young kid coming to watch the Auburn Astros, it quite different. I mean, you guys have done an amazing job down at this ballpark, renovating it and bringing it up to times, and